So we have a new Codex Road Map for the Codexes coming out for the rest of the year, and some teasers for the start of January. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today we're just taking a quick look at one of Games Workshop's recent posts, which outlines the run of the next few Codexes coming out up to Christmas, and a bit of a teaser after that. I think it's pretty helpful that they're actually giving some rough dates on the releases, as it can be helpful for people informing their purchases, and maybe holding off on things that are soon to be outdated. So the details that we have so far are that in November, Codex Space Wolves and Deathwatch are going to be dropping, and in December we're getting Codex Blood Angels and Codex Death Guard. The Space Marine related ones, Space Wolves, Deathwatch and Blood Angels, will all be supplements to the main Codex Space Marine book that was released recently, and I suspect will be very similar to the Index Astartes for Blood Angels, Space Wolves and Deathwatch. They were surprisingly complete documents in terms of full updated datasheets, but they were missing very important sections, such as the Codex specific warlord traits, relics, and most of the stratagems. I think they're trying to rush all of these ones out first because they're sort of in a halfway house at the moment. They are all functional armies, but kind of gutted of a lot of their flavour due to only having partial indexes. On the one hand, I can see why they're trying to get them out very quickly. It makes a lot of sense for them not to lag ages behind Codex Space Marines, but on the other hand it is going to mean that there's going to be a lot more Space Marine releases over the next few months, at least rules-wise, where I think that the community is kind of hungry to see other things. It's going to be interesting to see if they change much between the indexes and these codexes. I'm hoping they might revamp the Space Wolves warlord traits, which were a bit problematic and hard to use with those sagas, and I'll be interested to see whether or not other Deathwatch units manage to get special issue ammunition back, or whether that's literally just going to be restricted just to their unique Deathwatch veterans. Blood Angels honestly are wanting a lot of their stratagems back, including their 3d6-inch charge out of Deep Strike and on Wings of Fire, both of which really gave them a bit of a unique feel when playing with jump infantry. And I think that rules-wise, Death Guard are looking very strong indeed. They're going to be having 3 wound Terminators with Feel No Pain and 2 wound Plague Marines. Unless there's other significant changes to their codex, then you could be really putting down a very scary amount of power armor that's incredibly hard to shift. I guess it is kind of what they're known for. In terms of miniature releases, the only one that we do know is coming out shortly is that Lord of Virulence for the Death Guard, the one that's going to be buffing demon engines. And we have also seen some Death Guard fortifications in one of their preview videos, sort of like a plague furnace thing, so that should be at least 2 new units for them. Hopefully they might take the opportunity to fix some of the other holes in the Death Guard range. A lot of characters were lost when Dark Imperium went away, so it will be nice to see things like the Lord of Contagion coming back, and now the kits like No Fear and Dark Imperium have gone, it would also be very nice to see us start collecting Death Guard box. In terms of the others, we haven't really had any hints on Deathwatch or Blood Angels getting anything new. But one potential for Space Wolves is Ragnar Blackmane, who came out in the Saga of the Beast, and he's not been released individually yet, so this would seem like a good opportunity for him. Interestingly, they've given us a bit of a tease as to new codexes coming in January, and quite a lot of people seem to have been getting quite hyped up about the artwork on these covers. Both pieces are artwork from the core rulebook, one from a page that talks about various Imperial factions, and one from a Xenos page. I'm pretty confident that these aren't the actual codex covers, as it says redacted over them, and it wouldn't be very redacted if they just gave you the image anyway. I honestly just think that it's trying to tell us that one of them's going to be an Imperial release, and one of them's going to be a Xenos release. This isn't actually really all that much new information either. They told us that Dark Angels were coming very early in 2021, so I think its odds are that they're going to be coming next, particularly as they're pretty much on par with the Blood Angels, Space Wolves and Deathwatch, so it would make a lot of sense for them not to come too far behind. The Xenos one is perhaps a little bit more interesting. The Warhammer community article where they talked about this said we'll see another Xenos raise rise up to put those Space Marines in their place. Again, some people have been saying that this implies that there's a new Xenos race on the way, which I don't think is the case unfortunately. I think they're just trying to make it a bit more exciting talking about the coming codex for another faction. They haven't really given us any solid hints as to what it might be. If we did overanalyze that quote, then you could potentially say that Rising Up might imply Genestealer Cult, which isn't impossible. I certainly think they're one of the armies that are struggling the most at the moment and could certainly use a new book, but otherwise we have seen models teased for both Orcs and Drukhari, so either of those will be very plausible too. Other than that, they've just said that other codexes will be coming out very quickly indeed. I suspect they'll try and follow a similar sort of release pattern to 8th edition, where they kept 1 or 2 books coming each month until they were all done, and it took around about 18 months. I suspect at some point down the road we'll probably see a Black Templar supplement as well, mainly based on them getting their own Index Astartes, and it would be good to have them on the same sort of level as things like Ultramarines and Iron Hands rather than out of a PDF. And we might see entire other armies come out. It wouldn't surprise me in the least to either see Emperor's Children, World Eaters, or Renegade Guardsmen hit the shelves. So overall, I think it's pretty helpful to have a bit more clarity from Games Workshop as to what's coming next. Needless to say, it might make a bit of sense to hold off big purchases for things like Death Guard, Space Wolves and Blood Angels until we actually see the contents of the codexes. I'm sure we'll be rapidly learning more about them as they roll out. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics if you'd like to see more like this. And if you've enjoyed the video and would like to help support on the channel's Patreon, then that's certainly something that you can do. Again, the link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.